Welcome to today's show. I am Brenda, Power Medicine Woman, and we're going to have a great day together. You may have noticed that my backdrop has changed because I completely kept feeling Spirit says, it's different now. It's different now. And it's like there's a lot of work to changing everything around because that's, the bookshelf, everything. It's heavy. So, but I did it anyway. And Spirit says, you got to do it. You got to do it. So last night I swapped it all around and I feel better about it, but I'm still not sure if it's 100%. I haven't got the lighting correct. And then I've noticed that with the new light notes picking out, what is that? Light notes. Light notes. How do I explain it to you? Some people used to refer to them as gate points, but what it is, we're going back to evolution. As we're going back to evolution, we have this one point where the doors open up, these gateways. But what they are is like if you were to run a switchboard, some switches are off. And, it's about the timing and it's about when to do it. And then when you switch it on, which is considered a light node, whatever, you turn it on, and then that awakens consciousness. And I've noticed with energies of everything, with the planets and all of this, my computers are going wacky. It's always the hard tower, the big towers. It's never the small laptop ones. So what I find it very interesting is that it's just screwing up. So I wanted to go on Blog Talk, and I'm loving all these faces. I wanted to go on Blog Talk so that I didn't want to pay for it right away, but you can get 30 minutes free. But no, this is this hour is one of those prime hours where they don't allow it. Now, I was trying to figure out even how to do YouTube or Instagram. Yeah, I know, having all of these open because you have YouTube and Facebook, but Spirit says that I'm supposed to reach a wider audience. I don't even know what that means, except for through you. That's the only way one can really evolve. Well, you want it to be as organic as possible because that means Spirit is moving through people. It is moving to the next stage. And look at all these beautiful people. Yeah, electronics are messing up. So I'm getting confirmation from my other Spirit buddies. But it always seems to be the tower. Last night, I couldn't even get my very expensive camera that all of you have paid through the readings. I got myself a camera. And it didn't want to work. And I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? But it was like the US port and USB ports. It's like, really? None of them wanted to work. So if you just give me a second, and of course it's the button's hiding right behind where I can't get it. How do you go live? Nope, that isn't it. And it's just going to take a picture now. Anyways. I will eventually get a phone where I can do Instagram. I'll get a paid account through Blog Talk so that I can do more than just a half hour free. But I'm very grateful for all these opportunities to get out there. So one thing is that we listen to Spirit. The first half hour is that we listen to Spirit. The mini reads only come at the end. Do not ask me beforehand. I will not see your messages because Spirit likes to go in order. So as you share out, remember, I forgot to put it up, but the hashtag is hashtag MWB. That's Medicine Woman Brenda. The number 4, the letter M, me. So it's me. So it's MWB for me. Space and then you tell me what you want. But the mini reads come, you get 1 minute free after Spirit speaks. And then if anybody wants to do any paid readings, then I will do those as well before the mini read. So hang in there. Spirit wants you to understand we're awakening. What does that even mean? The interesting part is when ego, the electromagnetic guiding omni-apparition, which is a lens, when we over-identify with matter, we become this ego, these attachments, these stories, these pains. Our true identity is not that, but we end up over-identifying with so much. We're like, oh my God, we got it. The problem with that is that as you are trying to wake up, you don't realize the pain and agony of all the over-identifications. These are programs. These things run. These ones that makes you physically sick. These are the ones that runs the body to keep it healthy. But we don't tap into the innate wisdom that's right there before us. Why don't we? Because we just don't. Spirit says, now it's time, and I don't know what we're doing. Now it says that we're live, but how do you do it so it's not crooked? Does anybody have a clue how to do that? Hi, everybody. I am Medicine Brenda. This looks funky because it's sideways. And we are not sure how to see. Already got one person saying hello. Why does this not want to turn? Oh, you don't need to see what's on my wall. Technical difficulties, please. What happens when we have old information with new knowledge that's coming on the planet? Very simple. This is what can happen. It's crooked. It's sideways. It's not upright. It's not, all these different parts are not communicating. And the ego does not want you to understand what is happening, because if you did, then it would die. But it's not dying. We're not killing off the ego. We're integrating and healing all our programs, and then we're integrating all of these wisdom that we got from it so that we can become this more important part of who we are. And I am not sure what this is about. No, that's not it. And what does this do? Oh, my good Lord, I do not want that. No, cancel. I find this fascinating. I have no idea what's happening. Well, I will keep playing with this because it's not going to correct itself. I will have to learn, which means you intentionally are going to have to go out there, get new information. And this is kind of like what we do. Okay, that's YouTube. YouTube says somebody don't look crooked to me. So anybody else see me on Instagram? Because I'm completely sideways. My face is stretched out. I'm sure people have seen up my nostrils by now. I don't get it. I just don't get it. We will see it, and if not, I'll take it down. So at the end of the show, again, hashtag, space, and what you want. But it has to be very short. But that's at the end of the show. In the meantime, this is the buildup. Spirit wants to speak. I told Spirit, okay, we can do this as long as I get something out of it, nourishment, education. And Spirit, the only way that I really can feel my true identity when we're doing this is when I allow Spirit to download. Spirit says, okay, we'll do it this way. You give me a platform to speak. You help build your abilities. You get more in tune to developing your immaculate heart, your gut intuition, and connecting with your higher self. And you get to work with your oversoul. Now, we're going to learn many things, but there'll be bits and pieces. It's important that I still do it because I have such a small audience. I still give a card out to those that like the show and those that share. Remember to always subscribe. Now that we got that out of the way, I do not need to talk about it again. See, it says that it's okay. This is messed up for sure. I know. I don't know how to change it. I'm going to have to get, and this is what we're learning, is all of these things. So now we can get education to do like Google helps. But what can you do spiritually? I mean, you can't really Google spirit. This is why you have shows like this. This is why you learn how to meditate. You do transcendental meditation. You learn how to take that next step and get and then you get feedback from people. Okay, so you get feedbacks. The spirit gives you feedback, and that is spiritual investigation. In this case, physical feedback about a technical issue. Somebody says, "Can you flip this?" Flip it, and I keep flipping it, but it keeps going sideways. I will try one more time. Oh, no, now I did it. Oh, I lost my screen altogether. Hello. See? No matter what. And I'm not sure what to do to correct that. No, we don't want that. I already said that. But I am getting closer at doing Instagram. Let's put it that way. As soon as I figure this out or get a phone that doesn't make me do this. Okay. I will keep trying, folks. Thank you very much for this. And I will have to... Yep. Going to have to end it. So we'll just end it. And it was nice because I saw people wanting to watch the show. And that is very important. Yeah, I'm going to go out there, look sideways, whatever. Shut that down. But we'll leave this open because, the Instagram, the whole point of Instagram is that spirit kept telling me I needed to learn something. So it works wonderful thing. But I will keep this tablet open and not Instagram so that when people want to call in for their paid reading, then they can. It's an opportunity. I believe it's so important that you get more out of these shows when you hear live people interacting with me. And the thing is, when you have spirit people that are awakening, we just don't want to go lateral and we don't want to go backwards. You have to learn how to listen. So even though I may be getting feedback from people that have done Instagram before, and, which is just surface stuff, flip the camera, try this. And sometimes you need something that's a little bit deeper. What does that mean? Well, when you go a little bit deeper, that is that some people have technical, you get more specialty in this area. When it comes to listening to spirit, this is why I held classes. I was able to see inside a light node had turned on for me years before it actually opened up for greater consciousness. And I had, opened up, I went through, I've stepped in that energy, that frequency. There's no reason to go backwards. And one of the things that taught me was life is a mirror. Now, if somebody just told me that and I didn't understand it, then it'd be like, yeah, whatever. But a light switch, the awakening part of me woke up and I'm like, wait a minute. And when they started to define it, now that's the key to a lot of things, is learning how to define it. Now there's a glossary that spirit has downloaded in me that has to do with empowerment through enlightenment. And a lot of people worry, and that to me is that you run to the end of your timeline. That's one of the glossary terms. When you get into high beta, you overthink. These are all about meridians that show you your patterns. And then you have certain meridian units that light up so that you can behave, act, and be a certain way and repeat it. When people can't hear what they need to know, okay, that is, they don't know that they need to know this. So then they can project it out. So you got people out there that can be badasses, and some people that are bitches, and some people that are really just telling you the truth. But if they're operating through ego, you're like, well, you take offense and all this, and you're like, I don't want to do that. Now, I take offense. You feel them are twangs because you're like, oh, it's less than love. And you can feel where you have attached. Your spirit has said, hey, we're going to look at this, and ego over-attached, and then that became part of your identity. So as soon as you feel that twang of defense or pain, you literally said, I'm taking a certain amount of my life force, and I'm keeping that moment alive. And the whole point of what I do is I help people understand that can make you sick. And we go in and we heal that. Okay, we use resolution tools when it comes to having people listen. There's different stages of where you are. I get there too. And that is, sometimes we say, I know that, as a sarcastic way of, shut up, I don't want to hear what you get to say. Or, I knew that, which is, hey, I recognize it. That's a different. But when you say, I know that, and because you were taught growing up that, don't be stupid. I know everything. Therefore, you should. And if you don't, I get to criticize you. These are paradigms. That's a paradigm of a emotional character trait that's moving out. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. But we have to wake up to that, because we can't see our patterns, but other people can see that. And that's part of the mirror. And then if you watch people, they may start displaying some behaviors you've done that you're still rooted to, or you have something to clear, which means you're still rooted to. But it usually boils down to is like, well, I don't act that way. It usually means you act in the past, or there is something that you don't know you're doing and you're still doing it, but you haven't woke up to it and you haven't gotten the wisdom. Or there's some that do know that they do it, but they don't know how to change it. Okay. Or some people that do know they do it, but they relish in it. That's my identity. I get to behave that way. Or you do know it, but is scared shitless of the unknown, and you haven't developed your faith. You haven't developed that communication with spirit on the 24/7, which means you live it, breathe it, walk it, talk it, and dream it. And so sometimes people say, oh, you're not listening. And you may be listening, but you're scared shitless. And there's a program that's telling you, you can't do it. You can't move forward. You're not going to survive. You're not going to have enough money. You don't want to, you don't want to do it alone. I'm going to get rejected if I go out there. And you're considered family. I can't do this. I can't do what I want because you're family. And you get stuck into this rhythm that this is how you communicate. This is how you're supposed to be. And it's like, no, you're supposed to evolve. Now, okay, I think Amy knows who's here because she's like, well, we got to fix that colleague. Yes, there are spirits on the other side that are annoying me right now because they're saying that my hair, my bangs, or fringe, depending on where you live, is crooked. And it's like, yeah, they were straight until one decided to stay up and the other decided to drop. They're cut completely straight, trust me. Your body even has a mind of its own. That's what the fringes or the bangs is telling you about. This is another important part that you guys don't understand that I feel is very important. Okay, so you got to listen closely. Not only do you need to listen to spirit, and we just talked about briefly a little bit of that, but you need to listen to your body. This is body consciousness. Its consciousness is different than yours. No, it doesn't mean that something obsessed it, or possessed it. The body's consciousness is a level of consciousness, like a rock, like a tree. Some seem more intelligent than the other, but your body's consciousness runs on certain programs. And if you're at 2:00 supposed to get hungry, your body clock's going to say, okay, why isn't she eating? Okay, so now we have to get her to eat. So a symptom of hunger pains may appear. Okay, so you start feeding yourself the wrong. Now, if you emotional hunger instead of physical hunger, water hunger, or your mycoping is a hunger. If you don't understand what this is, then you think food. You think food. So then you start putting the wrong foods in your body. But you do it based on, okay, this makes me happy. It's like, so you then grab the wrong stuff. You're not connected with the good stuff. And there's another program that's running. It gets very complicated. But it's not when you begin to listen. So I have people that are, okay, they're reading a book. All of a sudden they get a headache. Oh, God, so they have to put the book down. They have to go do something. do you know that's a program? That headache was a signal that you can't read. And sometimes it depends personally on the story. Oh my God, this means that, and so somebody will sit there and I look and I'm like, oh, the headache is to stop you from enjoying life because you believe that you couldn't do so. And that usually goes back to an age. We're like, yeah. Oh yeah, I remember growing up and my parents were always pushing me to do this, and this and that. So every time I tried to sit down and enjoy myself, okay, can you hear the frustration? So, all right, so I'll give you another example. For me, it can go back quite a bit, but it was very frustrated. I remember being frustrated that when I didn't realize that I am a sensory being. So when somebody said, look at numbers and do math, they could get it. And then, of course, they insulted me because I couldn't get the way they see it. But if you listen to me talk in an everyday adventure, you're going to say, I'm saying the same thing as other people, but I'm saying it differently. And I've learned this, but sometimes I have to have a translator to explain to people what I'm actually saying. But doing this to try to learn. So I'm in school and I'm trying to understand, and they're saying, pay attention. And I'm paying attention with all my might. Now that fright of paying attention actually caused my head to, freeze up. So you go into fight, flight, freeze. Okay. And so when I'm going to do math, and if I'm in this space of spirit, there is no way that my left brain is going to comprehend this whatsoever. And I have to, and I could try all as my might, but then I just cause myself to be nauseous. So that's a symptom. Later on, it's just like, okay, I'm going along, everything's fine. It's like, oh, I just don't feel like doing this. That's a symptom. So you really need to be paying attention to those is the body language of the body conscious. And it literally is telling you that there's a program kicking off. It's acting and it's behaving a certain way. Okay. And so when you're not paying attention to spirit, you got to understand that your behaviors, you are programs, you're all of these things. Somebody says, okay, Daniela says, I ignore mine at times when I'm not ready to face the truth. And see, that is true. I mean, because there's a part of your soul that says, okay, I want you to wake up. But if the ego is running and going, it's going to tell you it's not ready for the truth. But when you begin to tap out, and I'm talking about dissolving the chemical peptides, when you use tools like hope therapy, emotional freedom technique, eye accessing, all these other tools, what you're accessing is the emotional vibration. Okay, these are chemical peptides, emotional chemical peptides, and they cue you to behave a certain way. So your head is like, you're happy, and then all of a sudden, it'll be a certain time, it'll be a certain memory, it'll be a certain trigger. And what will happen is your program will kick into the next gear. Okay. Oh, here we go into the next gear of what you're supposed to be. And when it does that, you're emotionally happy, for example, you're working along and all of a sudden you're like, oh God, I feel like shit. If you don't know what that is, it's an emotion triggering, starting to vibrate, and then it makes you think. So every time you have an emotion, you think. And every time you think, you create an emotion. That cycle always runs, always. You can disrupt that signal and that cycle so that you can actually be a happier, healthier person. But you don't know you need to do that. The point of waking up is to break you from being just a program every day. Now, people will look at it and ego says, oh my God, she's pointing out my flaws. Oh my God, you're a bad person. It's like, but you're not listening to me in spirit, which means you've got to get your head out of the defense mode, and your heart and your mind and your gut need to come in alignment, because if your ego is the only thing in charge, you're never going to move. So if you have physical symptoms, understand it's telling you. I mean, cancer is conflict. So you have to look at all the conflict that you put in life and what your soul is projecting to tell you that is it through genetics? Is it through your past life? Is it something that you haven't quite got? So you have to look at it this way. Are you in kindergarten? Are you in high school? Or are you in graduate school? Okay, when you're in graduate school, you've tired of taking the wisdom, but you don't really want to go back to the old pattern or the old program or the old way of doing things. And this is where resolving tools come in an incredible amount. Okay? So, when we look at these way of doing things in life, you've got to wake up and take in new knowledge. You can't just sit there at the old program. God, I hate this. This is such a bitch. Oh my God, I don't want to do this anymore, and check out and leave. Or you go this way, or go that way. No, you stop being just ego. Stop being the program. Stop and go, new knowledge. Spirits tell me to get new knowledge. What do I need? Okay, so sometimes you can Google. What do you do with spirit? You can Google by meditating, or you can learn to just say, stop, I am not reacting that way. Now, I'm not asking you to suppress it. I'm asking you to resolve it. I'm not asking you to overcome and ignore it. No, I'm asking you to sit back and listen with your soul. Because when you begin to do that, you become more in charge. And then you can start listening to it differently. We usually go to 5 go-to emotions, and we label everything with these 5 emotions. It's got to be this, this, and this, and this. But actually, it's not. Some people, I'm just so angry. And it boils down to is that sometimes it is that I'm rejected. And when you begin to define with this new knowledge, you begin to define all of these little things about you, you get to wake up and see the mirror of life, because your brain only sees itself. It has no idea that there's another human being, okay, in this hologram, into this illusion. It has no idea. It just knows how to read the energies. And what we do is the universe is constantly responding to us. And so if we have somebody that's a dickhead in our space, we need to understand what that's about, okay, so that you can move into the next phase of where you are. And you don't have to keep repeating, because what we repeat is like a fly that's trying to get out a closed window. It doesn't see the glass. It didn't even know that glass is there. It just keeps getting bitch slapped every second by trying to get out. And they're like, what? This should be easy. And the door, they just move over. The door's wide open and they can fly. Some people don't even know they got programs running. And it is very important for you to begin to be aware of that. Yeah, and see, this is, Danny, the one thing about when we go through and start looking at our programs, it can get very hard. That's why spirits sculpted me in a certain way so that I can look at it. And if we were to talk to me, instead of just saying, here, give me a reading, you need to go deeper than that, people. And I mean, you need to invest in that part of yourself. You intentionally need to do this. Why? So you don't have to be that fly hitting that damn window. Allow yourself to take that little bit of information in, so helping you so that you can wake up just enough. Oh, I get it. Okay, your program just wants you to make sense of things. So it's going to start going into left brain, cut out the right, which is part of that intuition. And then you're lopsided, okay? You are not using right and left. So you're just using left, and you go into high beta, which is overthinking and over-worrying. And you're like, it's got to be that. Yeah, it's got to be that. Because we're looking for answers to make sense. And when you finally say, yeah, convince yourself using false self-assuredness, part of the glossary, it's that, and you're sure of it. Remember, you're trying to remove doubt. Then you've labeled it and said that's that. Okay, you can go about your life, and then the shit happens again, and you're like, God damn it, I got to take that thing I labeled as that it's wrong, and to remove it. And you do it, and then all of a sudden, the shit still remains. Okay? You have to begin to see that you're a spiritual human. So one of the things that I'm teaching is how to become a spiritual human. And it's, you're already human. but let's get you balanced. Let's use your yin and yang. Let's use your higher self. Let's get into that guidance, that guidance part of you, and then that innate healing so that you can start harmonizing. All right, spirits, I'll be doing reading soon. Thank you for that 30-minute checkpoint. So that you can harmonize with your life and so you're not just acting out. Do you understand? When you begin to just act shit out and then you cry about it, you're just a program. There's nothing wrong with it. But as a spiritual human, so I've done a lot of healing, I've done a lot of awakening, and I moved into this state. Do I still have issues? Yes, I'm not dead yet. I haven't stopped evolving. Okay, I need to evolve. There are so many layers that you guys don't even aware about that I'm not even aware about. But I'm truly understanding that when I become very ego, my spirit's still there. It's standing back, watching me go through this shit. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to go through this. And I say, don't waste it. That's part of the glossary. I don't waste it. That means don't waste this emotional shit. Who wants to go through this again? I know, I don't. So as I go through this emotional stuff, I start taking note. I'm angry. I'm an emotion. What's the story about? It's about me feeling like no one's listening or something. And it can be deeper, but the point is if you just get parts of it, and let's say you decided, okay, well, I'm not going to employ Brenda, but I'm going to do it myself. So you start tapping. You understand you're moving through layers. So you've got to be patient with yourself. Oh my God, please be patient. What I do is I help do the fast track. Okay. And you can even ask a few people. They'll tell you in the room who they are. They know because they're like, bam, they've been trying for years. And all of a sudden they're like, they thought they were awake and bam, they start to wake up. Boom, 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 boom. And they're like, oh, I've only been with you for a few months. But if I really look at it, I wasn't with you every day. But this is incredible because I've been wanting to wake up and I thought I was. And it all will happen if you really want to wake up. Now, see, what happens is that I give you new information and you're able to use the tools to help transform you so you can wrap your mind around it. And as you begin to do that, you have to have experiences in life, which means you have to feel this or change this and notice the behavior. But it's not about looking and going, I got a flaw and I need to beat myself up, or I got to be in pain, or I got to hide myself. No, those are coping tools. Those false coping tools don't do anything but make you lose power, and it hurts you. We want to get you on the fast track of waking you up and helping you move into the new direction. Now understand, Spirit is now saying, I got so much more to say, but we'll do it later. I know that Melissa, if you're here, then, oh, you know what? I changed my whole room around. Gotta remember where I put the timer, folks. Anybody see it? Melissa, I know that you have a paid reading, so you will be my first. And then after that will be Daniela Thomas. Where would I have put the timer? Let me just see if I can see it, folks. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. I was so more worried about trying to get the video up. I forgot about those little things that you need. And somehow Spirit keeps making this room bigger and bigger and bigger, even though the dimensions are the same. So I have actually got more room. And so I know when Diana comes, she's going to say, oh, the room's bigger. Yes, because it definitely seems like it. Because it feels like it. I know. Queen, I know. I need to have more. Just like I've got my trillions of, pendulums, which I never We'll clean that later. Aha! Thank you, Spirit. God bless you. Okay, so 11 minutes goes to Melissa, and let me know when you're on, dear, and you tell me what you'd like to talk about. Okay? So she's here. But we want to know, I want you to understand, I can give you a read. I can tell you what your soul wants you to know. But sometimes we need to connect with it. My eyes just seem to turn more blue, by the way. I don't know if you noticed that. We want to connect with it. That means what shit's going on in your life that you want to know, why is this happening to me? That's such a great thing, and people don't quite get that. It's not even about the future, because your future is everything to do with the past. And can you change it? Well, a lot of people, when I tell them that, this is what's going on, but you're not going to get there unless you change certain patterns. Okay. Oh, yes. See, thank you. Pilly just announced that. Yeah. So, and I'm going to open this lodge up. I don't know what it's called, but it is to show you that there's some people that are saying, well, how can I support you? Which we learned just recently or I did, that you can have what's called subscriptions. If you wanted to pay so much a month, then you get to have a private stuff with me. Maybe some videos and a card a day or something like that. But then that's what Facebook does. And people just want to support. That's really getting in return, because we're already giving you everything and people want to give back. And that's part of that karma. It's about paying it forward. And it's, and sometimes if you can't pay it forward to people that you want to give it to, you give it to others. But then there's people that says, well, you made a difference in my life. I just don't know how to help you. And that's where the subscriptions come in. Well, you have to be offered that. So I was thinking I can make an off-site one, because people keep asking. Then there's going to be some type of a support, a guiding support. And the guiding support is that to help you wake up, then it would be, we will take one particular subject and talk about it. And then you ask, I need you to wake up. You got to begin to ask these questions. And then I would give support. And so we would need a forum so that I could give you the spiritual guidance like you do in a classroom. And then there's actually individual classrooms. Right. Well, again, so I scroll down. I don't know what the hell you said because I can't see it. Spirit makes it very impossible for me to see it. And people will get cards. So this is not your average reader where you beg, because I ain't going to see it. It's when it's time for me to do those, then there's an actual structure to how to do those. So if you read, you scroll through and read, you can actually see how some people have told and have been here before to know this. All right, Spirit is switching in. I'm looking to see what's happening with me. Now, that's very vague, but at the same time, it can be done. I can pull this. But if you could say, what's happening to me on the physical, mental, emotional, why are people doing this to me? If you were more specific, sometimes calling in makes it easier, but some people, I understand that. I'm not going to push you to do so. But Queen used to call into the radio show, and people got to learn from her, which was good because you got to learn from, real life experiences. Oh, good. Lenny popped on. She says, oh, the room. Yes, it did change again, and it's bigger. All right, Melissa, I'm going to set the timer, and Spirit has, Spirit just says, you have chosen to be perfect. Now, this is why we need feedback, because are you a perfect person? Perfectionism, that's the word I'm looking for. Because if you are, then understand that it's like you have to come across a certain way, because if you don't, then, oh God, I can just feel my insides just quivering. It's like you won't be able to connect with things. It's demoralizing. You won't be able to connect with things. So if you were to have this identity of being perfectionist, and that's part of your identity, and that's how I learned to connect with my world. Okay, so if you're not a perfectionist, understand you use an identity to connect with the world. And what's going on? Look at that redness on my face all of a sudden appear. Does this have to do with her? Yes. Please don't make it any more pronounced. But so if I got it, so be it. So do you physically take on awkward if you feel awkward, do you physically take on symptoms like a rash, redness? Do you know what I mean? A physical symptom. If you feel like it's being imperfect, I feel like your body's trying to correct you or show people that you're flawed. And it's like there's this great fear. Now, what's this? A violin. Oh, wait, what? A violin? I don't know what that is. Oh, this is about someone, what's that go? How does that go, people? It's like, here's a quarter, call someone who cares. Here's the world's smallest violin, and it's playing for you. I don't remember how that goes. Anyways, okay. So when you, Melissa, does this part make sense? Because Spirit's like, but I'm thinking she's paid, so let's keep going. You have put in, and they show me, do, self-imposed limitations. These are limitations that you say you can't do something, but they're self-imposed. It's like, I believe I can't do that. And then and then what happens is that if you're doing right vision, right sensory construction, left vision is, I remember pictures and things. The reconstructing it is that if you go into an emotion and you begin to worry, then you start to get high beta brain, and then all of a sudden you kind of reconstruct hell. That's what it's going to look like when it's called running to the end of your timeline, and you start to get a little bit panicked, a little bit upset. Yes, I do have rashes for 20 years on my hands. Okay, so that's why I got it on my face. All right. Now, if I look a little bit further, what's really going on with the rash aspect? And they said that see, it's a very firm, I accept it, I believe, and I gave my willpower to. At 3 years old, I know I'm going to be rejected. So why should I put my hands out there? Why should I reach out? Why should I grasp life? Because I already know. Okay, Melissa says I do panic. And understand, this is your 3-year-old self. I don't care how old you are, your body is saying that you're 3 years old. And it will mess with the emotions and mess with the thinking, and it definitely is messing with the physical. There's a belief, a strong belief that I am not compatible with people. There's got to be something wrong with me. Understand, that's a belief. And that's emotions that are backing up. And then you go around going, I need proof from the world. And then because I got proof, they see I can't do it. Okay? When you're in spirit, it's not proof. It's saying, I'm projecting the energy out. Here we go again. I'm going to break this pattern. They say you cut off the right brain and you go really into left, and you have to worry. Understand, the left brain is about, I have to fear, I have to worry. It's emergency. I got to figure this out. And whereas right brain, if you're just in the right brain, you'd be like, oh, everything's okay. And I'm so trusting and this and this and that. And then shit can happen. But if you start to use the left brain and the right brain, then you can bring yin in and physically play it out. And then yin helps to calm down the left brain and work it out. And then the left brain says, here, I'll physically help manifest. So if you have, let's say you're an artist, you get these ideas, you can create. Like I had to do this office. I mean, the right brain is downloading. My left brain's going, oh, I don't want to do it. My right brain's going, look at that. And my left brain's going, I don't want to do it. And all of a sudden, everything came in sync. Now, you want to be in sync. Do you understand? You're not in sync. You're out of sync. We would heal to help you get back into sync. And when you're out of sync, it's like, okay, what does she mean? Relationships. Okay, everything's going good. You're in sync. All of a sudden, something twangs. Bam, you're out of sync. Nobody can talk to each other. Everything's upset. Okay, so we would have to help you understand the program. Now, Melissa says, this is so true. So now if I look, what throws you out of sync? And that is you. Oh, See, my physical body right now, my digestive system, all of it's like in great panic. And because all of a sudden the picture is my mom turned her back on me. She rejected me. She made me irrelevant because all of a sudden she's talking about me, but she won't talk to me. And therefore I'm watching her connect with everybody else, and I have lost that connection and I have made irrelevant. And then all of a sudden I see you in a relationships with people that you're just an it. And you go and they're talking and they overlook you and you are an it. And you're like, but how do I get these people to talk to me? But you don't realize that you stood in the it position. And because of the fear and all of this, you're going to stay in it. And so then these programs wrap you around that cause you to not develop who you are. So then you have an arrested development. Again, part of the glossary. Okay. If you move forward, you're like fear and shame. I can't do this. So that's part of your self-imposed limitations. And we would take the emotion of shame, and we would first define shame, because it's amazing. Is it a noun? Is it a verb? How is shame used in your life? And then we would then take the emotion and calm it down. Understand that this frontal lobe right here in your brain, frontal lobe, 80% of your blood leaves that and goes into fight, flight, freeze, which is why you would get rashes, why you can't think, why you would just go in the left brain, and you can't create reality. This frontal lobe is about creating reality. It balances out the hormones so you can be happy. It creates connections of trust. And so you can't have faith and trust if there's no blood up in that area, and you can't go into trusting other people too much without having the left brain work for you. This frontal lobe is very important. I saw your mother turn her back. I have seen situations where you feel that you're an it. So you'd have to heal how you know that you're an it in certain relationships. And they say you become very self-conscious. Okay, this is, you become aware that people are looking at you. You become aware of, oh my God, I'm not doing it right. You become aware that you don't fit in. You look and you say, oh my God, I'm so different. I'm rejected already from these group of people I want to talk to, hang with, or be with. But this is coming from your 3-year-old. Do you understand? And we can change and help the 3-year-old change the program. So you don't have to do this. They're going a little bit further, and they said that you totally believe that you're deficient. I am not efficient enough. I don't have enough. I can't do enough. If somebody told you to stand up and sing, you're like, I can't do that. I'm deficient. I don't have the vocal cords. You can come up with all the excuses and reasonings that can cause you to stay in that self-imposed limitations. I'm not telling you this to hurt you. I'm telling you this is where all your energy loss is. So if you wanted to heal something first on your own, the exertion of, okay, so they said, notice how you developed yourself to exert yourself to be over-sympathetic, to overcompensate, to really think that this is what people are thinking and being, and you're over-sympathetic, and then you give way too much of yourself. And I would say start with, I have to exert being too much. I have to exert being perfect. I have to exert. That's the first part. Because if you understand how films put together, they're individual snapshots. And when I'm looking, I can see where you start to lose big chunks of yourself. And I can't just say, go here. In this case, you need to go right here. Okay. And then that's why a personal healing would benefit you greatly. And she goes, I've got everything that you've said. And it's not, and all that is a program, maybe several. But the thing is, they can be disrupted. They can be changed. You got to believe that it's okay to let those go. When you're in that, you're like, I can't. But if you start breaking down the I can't, you start breaking down the fear, and you get those chemical peptides to calm down, you're going to go, damn, my thoughts have changed. Where'd it go? Where'd all that thing I knew was real? Where'd it go? And then you get a clearer mind to create life better. So it's calming those emotions down first, sweetheart. That's what I would do, is heal. Just tap, disrupt the program. I'm doing this program, like she says, even though I'm doing this program, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And I have my website has a ton of free healing tools you can begin to use. And yes. Now, Lenny must be on because it says just paid you. So I'm looking. And yes, now we're going to go on to, so there's Daniela Thomas. Then it goes into Betty Decker, Amy, and Schmaltz, and then Lenny. Yes. So let's look at Danielle. And Danielle wants it for 6 minutes. Very good. Thank you for telling me that. That helps out. So we're going to go 6 minutes. And when your time comes up, say, yes, I'm here. And tell me what you want to work on. You can call in. You don't have to call in. I can do it just like this. Let's see. Yes. Yes, you can call. Let me make sure my volume thing is up. Should be working. So you go ahead and call me anytime. And we'll go from there. And so calling helps so many people. It really does. So you go through Messenger, and it's people like, how do you call? You're friends with me on Messenger. That's how you call in. You know, not my fan page Messenger, but this Messenger. And it pops right up, and we can do this. And hello.
Hello, Study. So, after the last conversation we had, like a couple days later, I went into the hospital and I got some bad news. And I just want to make sure that if this is going to be like a setback for me, and if it is, what steps I can do to go forward.
Okay. Can you tell me what the bad news is, sweetheart?
So apparently I had an infection in my ovaries that went into my fallopian tubes that went into my colon. And now I wanted to have another kid, and they basically said, hey, your chances of having another one are really slim, at least to be successful.
Okay, first of all, I'm going to tell you this. Energy medicine. Donna Eden. Okay, I totally believe in energy medicine. I totally believe in acupuncture pressure because this woman had MS and she pretty much was dying. She healed herself by constantly moving the energy. We're going to teach you how to move energy, you understand? Because I was told I couldn't have kids either. And so I prepared my life to never have 2 kids. And I had 2 kids. This is way after the fact. I got pregnant that I became fertile myrtle. Okay, I'm like, whoa, no, I don't want that many kids. Okay, so, but nothing was working. And energy can cause this. I will tell you, if we start getting you to understand your food ratios, that is to get you to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You wouldn't think that has anything to do with it, but it's about understanding the protein, understanding the power carbs. And power carbs are good, but stay away from them in the beginning, because when you're starting to drain out the chemicals and the toxins that come along with picking it up with your emotional shit, you'd be amazed. Your body will start to lose the weight pretty much automatically. But the situation is that you'll start losing inches maybe before you lose weight. But you will start to feel that your liver will start to be cleansing. You're like, something feels different, but you have to be patient because your body is moving out toxins where you couldn't get nourishment. So if we start helping you to understand the food ratio thing, and you begin to understand how to use emotions by clearing those out, stop believing it, because if you believe, the universe has to respond and give you what you believe in. So that's why I be careful of the power of suggestion. You needed an answer. You want an answer. This is what they told you. Your brain's going, oh my God, and just went into the worst case scenario, and pending doom is stuck there. We need to bring you back. Okay, and energy medicine to move the meridians, get the energy moving in the meridians so that it can recorrect itself. Okay, so I would never say that you can't have kids unless those babies were ripped out. Okay, and when you get the body to cooperate, especially knowing that it can remove the toxins, because people think once it's stuck, it's there forever. It's not. Okay, so we have to help you understand that the power of suggestion. So here's the thing. You feel that you have a lack of control. And then your mind's just going to go nuts, and it's going to keep developing all of this weird shit. We need you to get you to stop doing that. All right. And disapproval. What's this about? So you had somebody, authority in your life that basically kind of, they have that lofty energy. And did they say something about you, not the doctor in this case, but somebody doesn't think you should have kids? It's like a nasty remark. Okay.
Like, oh, you plan on having any more? And I'm like, no, I need to know. I'm a woman. Like, that's something I need to know.
Okay. We have to heal that out. Let me tell you why. Because that is an energy blocker, and it is telling the universe, because you believe it, you accepted it, and you believed it, and gave your willpower to it, the universe is going to make that come real. Why? Because somehow you're hooked into what was said, and it's held in the body. You got to get that out, okay? And you heard disapproval on what he said, and that disapproval, believe it or not, is in the uterus. And it somehow is affecting the right ovary. Okay, so it's energy in that area. And so it closes down the chakra. It closes the meridians that run through there. Do you understand? So you would want to remove that first. Now, if I ask Spirit, if you remove that first and start to change your diet and you start changing the energy, could you have kids again? Most likely, because now you're tipping the scales in your favor. Not saying that you're doomed and that's it and it's final and it's cut. There's no other decision. No. There's no toe tag on you yet. There's no toe tags on those ovaries yet. You got that? Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So you there's a lot you can do, and you don't have to. I like I said, they had me brainwashed and believed I couldn't have kids. I shut those freaking down because I didn't really want kids with the man that I was married to. Okay. I didn't realize that, but I also was living with a narcissist. When I got out of that situation, all of a sudden it was like, okay, can't have kids. I got pregnant a month after I got married. It's like, what? There's no freaking way how is that working? It's because of all the work I did. Okay. So you got to stop. Look at the fear. It's going to control you, but until you change it. So the main thing is that notice your reaction. You've lost a lot of power to your reaction because you believed it to be true. Are you using any healing tools?
I did the tapping, so I've been doing the tapping. I've been doing that. And then when we had our last little session, you were telling me about on my foot, the top of the foot in between the big toe and the toe next to it, and that's what I've been doing. And then I went to the hospital, so I haven't. Okay, so what we're going to need to do, you're going to have some private sessions with me, but what you can do, even though I believe, and you can call him an asshole, my doctor, my dad, whatever, I believe this authority is telling me that I can't do anything about, get in there, get it tapped out, get it out, and notice the fear. Always put it on a scale from 0 to 10. 10. Notice how much you got on the show. It was a 10. Can you feel just by talking with new knowledge that it's not a 10 anymore? Yeah.
You got hope again. That little light is hope. Not hoping. You have hope. Now we just have to use all the tools to get to the end of the tunnel so you can just be in the glory of the light of that hope. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right. So your first thing is to start tapping all that fear, because out of your 41 thoughts, you're going, oh my God. No, go. Even though I'm going, oh my God. Even though I'm catch yourself. Don't need to repeat and put yourself into hell. You got too much life, girl, and you got much. You be that portal. We're gonna get you back. We're gonna. We have to then decide: is your soul telling you? At this point, your soul says, "Well, she's falling for it," which means you believe that the outside's told you what it is. Okay, we got to put faith back into your soul, put faith back into your spirit, put faith back into you, so that the energy of life can start flowing and breathing the way it's supposed to. Be done with those programs. Okay. Good job. Thank you for calling in and taking care of yourself, because I know you can do it. Okay. All right. Thank you. Goodbye.
Will do. Bye.
Okay. We'll take the next person. Let's see if I can find the right button here. There we go. And the next person is Betty Decker. And we got 6 minutes for her. And oops, I love Betty, Betty's name, because it's my mama. My mama's name is Betty. So Betty Decker, what is it that you would like to talk about? Okay. Ooh, spirit just shifted my head. Yes, you can call, sweetheart. That'd be great. That'd be great. Oh. Hi.
Hi. I got to turn on this other.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I can hear the feedback. All right, my dear, you tell me what you would like. I'm set the timer now.
I guess, does Spirit have anything for me?
Okay. Your life doesn't look too bad. The first thing I hear is that, do you have somebody in your life that, see, I'm not going to get the right word, that has like maybe like bipolar or has some type of issue or some type of, there's an energy that's not, there's a learning, somebody has a learning curve. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I have bipolar, but my older son is autistic.
Oh, that's why they said it the way they did. Yes. Okay, hold on. Okay, so we're going to talk about the bipolar first. We're going to talk about all of it. Oh, well, that's fine.
I'm fairly new to following you, and so much that you have said, it feels like you're speaking right to me, and I just feel a strong pull to learn more.
Good. That means that she's awakening. That pull is the urge. And what I have to teach you, it can be a lot, okay? Especially when you do one-on-one trainings and healings, because you can move. You don't have to be a victim to the bipolar, okay? And I'm going to look at this because there's an energy shift that I can see. It looks like it's split. And that means the left brain and the right brain are choosing not to talk, but talk separately. And if I look up a little deeper, is there any frozen meridians? No. What is going on? The corpus callosum, the speaker. Oh, the thing that makes both sides talk. What's going on with that? They're saying at 3 years old, you became very self-conscious. So you became very self-aware of what was going on in your space. Did you grow up with anybody that was kind of harsh or violent or, vocal or physical? That energy,
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a rough childhood with my parents always fighting.
Okay. That energy, your body is responding to with that energy that it literally didn't know how it was supposed to make a decision. You got so scared, your coping tool was to disrupt how the brain speaks to each other. Okay. And you watched. Did somebody else, either one of those parents, have bipolar?
I think so.
Well, that's what I'm noticing.
No.
Right. Okay. But I think you know that because I think without realizing it, our little selves will copy like, oh, this is the way it is. But this is also a genetic thing. So if I ask spirit, so what is it that they couldn't resolve? And then it had a lot to do with, I am not allowed to be myself. So at 1 minute, you're fine, you're being yourself. And the next minute is that you're so, because you can't be yourself, then that part of you is forcing you to explode. You understand? Mm-hmm. And sometimes you're like, where'd the hell did that come from? Okay. Mm-hmm. Because and it feels crazy. It does. It feels crazy, but we'll get there. I would unwind that I'm not allowed to be myself. There's probably more to the story. Like for instance, I am rejecting my reality. So if they're fighting and you're rejecting that reality, I can feel you being happy, go lucky, everything's fine. And then all of a sudden then it jumps over to the left brain because then it's trying to say, that's the issue. That's what's going on. This is it. And then and then all of a sudden it drags you straight down. Okay. So that must be the manic part that it goes up and then it, whoa. Yeah. It goes to a disapproval. Wow. We're going there again. Okay. So you have invading energies in your space. Wow. Invading energies. Go ahead.
I get bogged down. If I'm around other people, their emotions
can
drag me right down.
You got a big ass hole that's like a vacuum cleaner and it's sucking their shit in. And we got to get we got to stop that, which means we got to heal why you're sucking it in. And we have to pull their energies out. The best thing for you to do would be to remind me after the show, say Celtic weave, connection heaven and earth, and, hookup. If you can just say one of those, if you can remember it, then I will send you all three, because when I get done, I forget. Okay. So, and what that does is it starts pushing people out of your space. Okay. The hookup will start sealing that hole that you have. All right. And then we'll eventually take out that energy of that aggressive person that's causing that rift inside. We got to get that out. Now, when it comes to heaven, you said he has autism. Really bad or just slight?
Very high functioning.
Very high functioning. Okay. Well, he's also checking out. But what's going on there? Body talk. Hold on. I got 40 seconds left. Where are we going? Oh, we got to disconnect. Okay, he's got a disconnection. We got to connect his spirit to his body. He's just hanging on the outside. He didn't quite handle something in particular. Why didn't he? Because of fear.
PTSD.
Oh, well, that would explain it. Yeah, that makes it worse. Because did he have autism before the PSTD or after?
Yeah, he was only 7 when my father passed away.
Okay.
7 or 8, and it was extremely rough on him.
Okay. Did the autism come before the PSTD?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because see, there's a miscommunication in the lymph nodes, and that's what we'd have to look at. And then this came after a vaccination, so we'd have to disrupt the signal. There's probably more that we're going to have to do, because he is. How old is he?
18.
Okay. So he's at that age, soul wise too. But you do have to be completely responsible for him. Okay.
I am right now.
Okay. So does he allow you to touch him?
Yes.
Oh, that's a good thing. Does it allow you to work with him? Like give him instructions and repeat it and this.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we'll be able to help him to, there is a lot of hope we can do. Okay. The first thing is I see this injection, this inoculation. It's really messed that signal point up. But then again, I see all of this other stuff that's going on. We'd have to do it in layers. Because that puts a stress on you, but then you have your thing already. And okay. So we'll be guided to spirit, whatever feels like we're supposed to do. So understand that the longer you can pay for a session, the cheaper it is. And we can do so much in a short time, just to let you know. Okay. If you can understand a little bit of this and you start applying the tools, especially doing the home tools by yourself, you're going to start to see your world change dramatically and for the better. Okay. Oh, it was nice to meet you. I love your name.
We are cousins.
I know, but that's what shocked me the day that, Betty Portis. Let me explain just a little bit further. My mother was Betty Portis. Okay. So the day that was my birthday, my mother, usually she's dead, but my mother tries to give me a special thing. And then you came on and says, happy birthday to me when I'm just like doing nothing, And all of a sudden I look up and all I saw was happy birthday, and it was from Betty Portis. I didn't see the decker right off the bat. Oh, Mom, and I'm like, oh, how sweet. And I just started crying because I knew that my mother got you to say that. So, not only did you say it to me, but she was able to. So I was like, I was excited. Yes, but we can do this. All right. Bye, hon.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay. The next person on my list is Amy, Miss Amy Schmalz. So if you call in, that would be great. Because I know you want to, because you said it over here. I hope you're getting something out of this, people, so that you can understand that there's hope and there's lots of it we can do. A lot. Okay. Here we go. Very good. Hello, Amy.
Hi.
I want to say that Amy, she listens well. So I had my birthday and I had this thing that I had a watch on this, okay, and I'm like, I took it off, I turned it into a necklace because I couldn't get this watch anymore. Well, I got this Fitbit, which is, big face, and it's like, I'm trying to figure out how, because those darn watch bands break. And so I was trying to figure out how. Well, I said, give up on that, whatever, I'm not that talented. So then that was a while back. Miss Amy, I was talking to her, and I must have gave her clues that I had no idea I did, because then I get in the mail just recently that I have a watch band. That's what I wanted. And it's like, Spirit, Amy, thank you very much. And then, because I like birdies, and she makes jewelry, she made me these birdie earrings. And I like danglies. I don't like the short things. And so, pendulums, I got pendulums galore too. So that's good. But thank you for the gifts. I really appreciate it. People love to give me gifts and things like this. And I totally appreciate it. I mean, I love pendulums. I mean, I do. Right now I got that crooked, but yeah. And just, I'm excited. Anyways. You paid for 11.
I'm excited to get that one. I got to watch her open them. That was awesome.
Yes, I can open stuff in front of you. All right, people. Oh, I'm on my blanket. Oh, okay, there. I've got to set the timer. And what is it you would like to talk about, Miss?
Whatever.
All right. Spirit says, your shit. You are moving along very nicely. But we're looking at some wounds. How many? We got 4 wounds. Physical? No. These are mental wounds that people have said. So it's about what has been said. Where are we going? And it literally causes your magnetic field, to flip, which means you have a deficiency in magnetic. So by holding your phone or iPad or whatever it is that you have, it is actually draining you even more right now. Okay. So you would need to put some type of magnetic on your body, on your maybe ring or bracelet. You don't want near your phone or watch, but it is noticing that the magnetic field is being changed. And people say, oh, it's just the electromagnetic frequencies that are messing me up. Not in this case. Okay. There's some people that can touch things and not lose power. Now, there is what's called earthing, which means if I touch certain things, the energy will drop, everything will change. But when your magnetic deficiency is dropped or flipped, that leaves you prone to that your body can't fight and protect. Okay. So energy can shift, but it doesn't have to make you sick. But in this case, it's flipped. And if I ask, was all 4 that way? Yes. What happened to your good humor? Okay, so that's something. You closed it.
That's something new.
Huh?
That's something new.
Oh, yeah. At 1 year old, you weren't going to get what you wanted. Yeah, so children always have this thing where they have what's called, I have a particular outcome. So children can sit there and fight more and last longer because they have the tenacity to do so. And we haven't kind of developed the coping tools to understand that, no, I don't need to be asking for that particular outcome, or that it's okay not to have that. So if I ask Spirit, what emotion was there that says I have to have it? And that is, where are you going? My pendulum is going all over the place. So they went through and you're like, oh, I'm not going to get it. And I have to correct myself. And I'm overtime hopeless. I got to worry about them, but I don't want to give this up. So what is the strong energy? It's, you're going to get picky, aren't you? Your strong energy is that you love the surprised feeling. Yay! And you were trying to reduplicate this surprise of, and so you didn't know how to do it. So as a 1 year old, you're like, oh, then I'll ask for something. Oh, I want that. That's going to give me the surprise feeling. So it's like now your next high is to get that surprise feeling. Okay. So you're kind of addicted to that surprise feeling, but not dramatically, it's a half, it's a 5, it's out of a 10, but you're like, I love that feeling. But you get completely bombarded with the story that you've told yourself that's connected to that joy. But it says that it's short-lived because you have a wound. And if we were to look at this wound, they said that every time you try to expand that I want attention, you when you were little, you had no idea that everybody else was in the room. There's only me. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But the wound is that you got bitch slapped hard enough that you were told that it's, there's more to life than just you. There's more people here besides you. But the hard reality hit in. But the wound, how you got told, because you couldn't hear it, but how you got told, the devastation, I feel like it came from your father. I don't know. But now you have an auto response that's built around that wound that you have to feel sluggish all the time. I don't have the strength to do this, because the strength that you had was, I want that. And in order for you to calm down and say, and instead of losing yourself and blowing a gasket and determined you want that outcome, your coping tool was to feel sluggish. So your body's consciousness goes in going, oh, I feel really sluggish. Okay. And then it stops you from focusing over there. But that still doesn't define the wound. The wound was complete shock. Well, yeah, just an, oh my God, complete shock. And you felt that pride in this case, it hurt so damn deep that this is where you'd have wounded pride. Okay, but it is. And then what in place of it was, I'm not compatible with people. Interesting. And then you made yourself deficient, because when you were surprised, happy, all of this, you had to shut it off. Your little self says, that is what's causing me to get that from mom and dad. So that's gotta go. So you're part of your happiness. You cut that out. Now, did you cut it out, dim it out, shut it out? You closed it off so that you had no connection, so that everybody else would create your life but you. Because you believe that if I created my life, everybody's going to get mad at me because they're going to think I'm selfish and blah, 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 blah. That's the story. So you have to understand that you closed it off with a steel door. A magic carpet. So you use several little things to shut that off. Now, we look at, apparently that's one. If we were to look at the other thing to make it go further, there is a silent brooding. So your go-to of coping is that you silently brood, is your backup to the feeling of feeling sluggish.
Okay.
This one came about when the feeling sluggish didn't work. And they're saying that 5 years old, you've developed, I have to silently brood. And this is that self-bitching in your head. Okay. And again, you feel this awkwardness that I can't really ask for what I want. I can't really do what I want. And yes, you develop this beautiful charm, but it's more of a spell, which doesn't last long.
Right.
Okay. And they're saying that that's the only way you would allow yourself to feel, is that you found a way to get people to do what you wanted. Wow, this is really raw in front of people. But hey, that's what our series is about. But then they said the other part of your body's consciousness is that, what are you saying? Exert nervousness? You've never shown that to me, but do you hold that inside your body? With that eyebrows, yeah. Because I'm going to get found out. And yeah, it's going to be found out more through me than anybody else. Yeah. You should see what she looks like. This is where we needed to record the moment. Oh, you're recording it?
No.
Oh, well, yeah, the vocal.
On Facebook and YouTube.
That's true. So what is the right brain story? So going on, they're saying that the third one has to do with the story you have to tell yourself. The story you have to tell. You have so it's no, not convincing, not excuses. Not, the story I have to tell myself so that I will calm down. And so we really need to look at how you felt complete loss that you couldn't get that particular outcome, whatever that is. But it's like you get caught up in the story. So when you silently brood and you rethink all the shit, do you create stories?
Oh, I'm sure I do.
So that's your third thing you do. The fourth one has to do with self-efficacy, which is getting the results. Okay, what about self-efficacy? You panic. I'm not going to get the results. I'm not going to get the results. So then when you don't, okay, so now when you don't get your result, then I can just see you throwing tantrums in your house. Oh, just walking. And I literally am watching this program repuke itself out, regurgitate. And then you settle. Do you settle? Oh, you settle with turning the TV on and zoning. And that means you could also be eating stuff that's unhealthy for you. And you're like, I don't care. I just don't feel. Because if you don't think about it, you don't go through all that pain. How interesting.
Yeah.
But you got to remember, it's all about insecure. So that thing you wanted was going to make you secure. You don't want to feel insecurity. So your challenge through the day is write down everything that if I can't have that, will I be insecure? Or define what insecure means or secure means. And begin to look, because your challenge is to unwind those stories. And then, because right now my stomach just flipped, and you have a physical thing that goes with, I don't want to feel insecure. And then you can tap it out, or you'll be writing me going, what's the point?
Either that or we'll be zooming.
I don't know about today, but yeah, you're going to look at that lip. Okay, maybe pouting might be on your list too. All right, thank you very much for calling in. I appreciate it. All right, happy healing, honey. Stay blessed. All right, people, I hope you're learning from everybody. This is good. Yes, I appreciate you all staying up. Leon, absolutely. And when you know it's not working, how's that working for you? It's not working. That's where then I can come in to help you make it so you can shift in leaps and bounds. We're going to move on to Lenore. And she paid for 11. And Lenore is next. And you want to call in, or do you want me to do the reading this way, darling? Okay, so she might be on this one. Well, we'll soon find out. There we go. Okay. Are you guys learning? Okay, so after the paid reads, then we do the 1 minute readings. Aha, here we go. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Can you see me okay?
I've just called you. I haven't done face. I can.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So, what is it you'd like, sweetheart?
Okay, so continuation of the last healing.
Okay.
That certain someone has been manipulating lately, the last 2 days. Put it this way, excuse me. When I spoke to him last night, he said to me, I said, how are you feeling after the breakup? Are you upset or whatever? And his exact words was, I don't feel a thing. I don't even want to cry. And I went, okay. And then he's been really messaging me all day. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? And Wednesday's invited me and our daughter there for dinner. And I've just got that gut feeling. I've got that. And I want to know the alternative motive of why he's doing this? Is it these traits, narcissistic ways?
Okay. First of all, your energy of pandering and catering to people because you are very sympathetic. Okay. Your soul is asking you to stop being so over-sympathetic to people that have these characteristics of being a narcissist and a gaslighter, because you will fall prey to them every time, especially when they're really good at hiding it. And you know the kind of people you've dumped, not in relationships, but in friends, in girlfriends relationships. You've had to dump them because they would always go, hey, 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 and then expect you to show up, and you always go above and beyond. I would say you need to heal that. Okay? Because there's nothing wrong with going above and beyond, but do it. It's called misplaced loyalty. Okay? I would go above and beyond for you. But would I go above and beyond to other people that I know? No, because in misplaced loyalty, I am not going to incur karma just for them.
No.
But it's that false sense of awareness. And what happens is you create this chemical peptide where you begin to trust more than you should.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But we've got to get you to come back. Now, you already know that you're transitional woman.
Mm-hmm.
You're familiar. And he thinks he can always get you back.
Yeah.
Okay? And what will happen is because you have this over-sympathetic, there's a part of you that makes your heart leap, but it's false self-assuredness. So when I dive into that, and at least you're becoming aware. Okay? You're becoming aware. But when I'm looking at this, they say that it's the self-imposed limitations you put upon yourself when it comes to your actions. I need to be nice. I have to be a good girl. I've got to act a certain way. These rules came about when you were 4 years old. When you do not display them, you got in major trouble.
Mm.
Okay, so you got some homework to look at.
Okay.
But you also know that you wanted to connect. Now, I am not going to say names, so you can talk to me afterwards. But there is a feeling that you could feel this rejection if you didn't say, yes, I'll do that for you. But if you said, no, I don't want to, then you felt instant rejection. So you didn't want to feel how many things? There was 3 particular emotions. You didn't want to feel hopelessness.
Yeah.
The acting mean of somebody, and they made you feel deficient. Okay, so those 3 things, do they have to be all working tandem? No, they're 3 units. Yeah. Which one do you want to?
Can I roll them out?
Not in particular. You could try. There's no harm in those. But you have to understand, this is a unit. The one unit of where deficient is that the large intestine and the spleen and the kidney meridian, those 3 create the unit. So the large intestine says I'm becoming invalidated, and that I have to become over concerned, and then it goes into I feel weak, and I don't want it. So those 3 are communicating. So those 3 meridians are pushing those emotions to make you take the action that they expect out of you.
Yeah.
Okay. Your second unit that has to do with hopelessness, and there's the bladder, circulation, sex, the gallbladder, and the stomach. The bladder says habitual fear, sluggish memory, unfair.
That's what I'm experiencing today.
Yeah.
Sluggish. I can't even study again.
Oh, because that's your go-to coping. And then the large intestine is about you have to be. Wait, did I say large intestine? No, I've lost it. Unfair.
No, you said gallbladder.
Okay, that's unfair. And then I think I said stomach, didn't I?
Yes.
Stifle. I have to learn to stifle myself. So then those 4 kick in, and that creates a unit. So you behave. Now I'm getting a stab in my back, left side, right next to where my wing would be.
Yes.
Okay, and then it feels like it's coming straight through. This is that you come up and you have self-centered people that will stand in front of you. So self-centered people means that you have to cut your wings off for them.
Yeah.
Literally. Oh my God. All right. That last unit was, let's see if I can recall it. Oh, they want to talk about irrelevant. So you become an it by making you a you. Oh, I get it. So what they do is that I have to charm you, make you feel so loved and so worth it and so, and then as soon as I know I got you hooked, then I can make you an it because I know you will obey everything I ask.
Yeah, we know who that is.
Yes. Okay, good. At least now we know. Okay, now let's go to that other unit. Do you remember what I said?
Large intestine, spleen, and kidney, or large intestine.
No, okay. It was in the beginning. You had deficient, you had hopelessness, and the third one.
It was major feelings, deficient, acting mean, and hopelessness.
Acting mean. Okay. Oh, you're the bad guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so what makes that the bad guy? Gallbladder, as in. Okay, I just went blind. How's that for you? Oh my God, I went blind. Starts with an S. Really? I can't see. And I don't have my Okay, so that's the sign. You're meant to defocus, not be able to focus on what's. Look over here. Don't look at what I'm doing. Look over here. Is that what you want? Gotcha. But what is the freaking word? That would be great. That's going to haunt me now. Cancel. But anyways, it goes into gallbladder, and it goes into this rejecting. They want you to reject something out of your reality. So they'll tell you what you need to reject out of your reality. Then it goes in along with the governing meridian, which is I have to go into arrested development. I can't figure it out, so I have to rely on them. And then it goes into sadness invading the liver. Now that's important. I would roll that out. Sadness invading the liver. That's what I would roll out.
Yeah.
Okay. But the sadness that invades the liver, and the liver says, here we go. We're going to be taken for granted. That's your last unit right there. That's a lot. I mean, we're really good because we're getting to your individual units and calling them out. What would you do for the first one? Besides be sick all of a sudden. Notice that how you react. They says, these are the things that go off. This is how your body reacts. Excuse me. This is all about not being able to digest and oh my God, what's happening in my world. But they're saying, notice it's your reactions.
Reaction, okay.
These things all made you have to react a certain way. And if you can catch it, okay, so let's say you're texting or you get a text. Notice your reaction. Now you're awakening, so your spirit is trying to say it, but just notice through your spirit, what humanistically are you doing?
Yeah.
Like if you have to share it on Facebook or you have to do this, these are reactions because you're trying to get you're trying not to feel something, but you're also trying to get your power back. Okay, so that's two things on that you have to look at. Overwhelm. That's why you can't focus, because right now you're meant to go into overwhelm, which is it's like I have to drop everything and I have to focus on this and my life's not important. And it's not because you want to, because it's like, what the hell's happening? Your coping tool, because you were little, was told you got to stop everything you're doing and pay attention to me. Look at me, Lenny. Look at me. Kath and Kim, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
Muddled is another one that you have to go. You have to. Did you hear that? They said have to. Because you did not like the contempt that they gave you as the controlling tool. Yeah, so you've got a lot of stuff to work on, and break it down and look at those units, but they want you to look at the reactions. They want you to be able to see how your behavior is, because if you can't catch the behavior, you're going to doom to repeat. We can take out certain emotions, but you got to break the habit. And that is, I can show up differently. So this is where you need to take in more new knowledge for yourself so that you can flip the script without having to repeat these hells. Okay?
Thank you, love.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for calling in. Okay, so that is, let me check. I think that's all for the paid. Yes. Okay, wonderful. So, and now we're going to do the 1 minute free read. And what does that mean? That you're going to put the hashtag and then what you want, space, and then what you want. And this way, Pilly, I didn't see it's $11 a reading. You can have also, maybe you're answering somebody, but you can also pay $7 for a 6-minute reading. Is anybody else paid that I'm not aware of? Because sometimes it can, what do you call it? Sometimes I can miss things. Oh, thank you very much, Pilly. Pilly, you're going to have to take that and take down the www, because I don't know if that works. And let me tell you why. Because when I try to do it, it tells me it doesn't exist. Oh, and it took me there. No way. They must have changed something, because every time I try to do www on my website, it says, oh, I don't exist. And I'm like, seriously? But it does. Yay. Okay, that's good. Thank you. All the free, you look under, depending on which app or which phone device you're using. But if you look at the top, it says healing, and then you'll see healing tools. And if you wait, because if you click on it, you're going to get a small amount. But if you wait for the drop downs, then all of a sudden you're going to see all these free healing tools that you can use. And I did my best to explain them to you. Okay, everybody's ready. I'm going to get Amy, and then she wants to look at the calf. I got 1 minute, and go. For the calf. Yeah, that knot. How many? You got 2 meridians that are backed up. So it's actually an acupuncture point inside there. And which meridians are they? Stomach meridian and so the other one's tricky, because it's the heart meridian affecting the bladder, which then causes the bladder to back up. So that means the way the blood is pumping. Use a magnet. Take a magnet on the back of where that lump is. Go all the way around it. Here's the lump. Go all the way around it. Forward and back and forwards with that magnet. Then you're going to have to massage those areas. For the heart, because the heart meridian is on the arm versus the leg. What is invading? Oh, because you go into indifferent. So you have a coping tool of becoming indifferent is affecting it. So I would then, I would just do this, because you have to catch when you're becoming indifferent when it comes to, I don't want to change my life. It's the breathing has to do with the way that it's, can you bring in life? Okay. Now we're going to look at Susan Bowles, General. Susan Bowles. So you've been running to the end of your timeline doing impending doom. It's such a habit. It's not a coping tool. It's such a habit. It's like as soon as you're watching the news, and then the worst case scenario, the impending doom kicks in, which means you're reconstructing. And is this based on an emotion? How many? 1. If this is based on one emotion that has to do with discouraged. So at some point in your life, you were discouraged. You believed it, you accepted it, and that's what you got. You don't know how to overcome discouraged, because that is real to you. So you have a lot of proof. And they're saying at 2 years old, you were completely discouraged and you had impending doom. That for a child, that can be anything. But you heard it, and therefore is like, oh my God, this is going to happen. So I would take my energy off. I'd watch how I do it, and then switch your eyes over to the left. and not create and recreate. Just stop and say, is this true? We'll have to talk about that someday, people. Is this true? Because when we get in that reconstructing phase, it's only true to you, and it is very deeply real because it's a thought, it's a memory, it's a picture. It is what you're doing in your head. It may not be real out here. You could point and say, that could be it, but it's based on borrowed memories to some degree. Stop, Brenda, you done teaching. Go to the next. Gotcha. Molly Nixon. Hold on, you said love life, so I'm going to take these cards. Molly Nixon, the love life. All right, in this case, there's parts of you that have trouble expressing your love. And when I asked Spirit why so, they said you get a heart wall up, and it's a habit. This habit is that is very much a ego response. Ooh, this is going to happen to me. So you believe something based on something in the past or something you've seen on TV, but it's got a hook. And if I looked at the hook of why, they said that it hysterical people. So you must have had a response out of somebody that was not good, and therefore it's stuck in your head. I would definitely look at the picture. They said you have to look more with chemistry, because you can say, oh, this is good for me and everything else, but you'll settle. There's a part of you that has to understand you need to find that chemistry that'll kick in. And it's not just the chemistry, okay? It's not just the chemistry. And you have to understand your romantic feelings and define them, because sometimes you can trick yourself into thinking you have romantic feelings by romanticizing about something. And, he was really a nice person, even though he may be an asshole, but you romanticize about all the good stuff and you lose yourself and you repeat. Okay? Killy. Anything Spirit wants? Anything Spirit. Okay. Oh my God, I feel like I'm floating. What the hell's going on? Have you been told that your heads are in your heads? How many heads you got? That are in the cloud? Because I feel like somebody said shit or smack to you and it's not true. And they did it because they can't grasp the reality that you're learning to live. And when you're in this state of developing, you're going to be connecting with the old self and new self. And you haven't quite drew people in that quite get you. So the old people are wanting to put you back into who they know and what they know. So don't take offense to it, because when you do hear this or that, you believe it's true, and therefore you have to give up your life. But then there's a part of you that's like, no, I don't. So thank God that part's stepping up. But you still, it feels hurt because it sounds like they're acting mean. Understand, a negative person will bring a positive person down because they can't have what the positive person has, or they don't want to open up to it because it scares them. There's many different reasons, but you got to consider the source. And don't take advice from people that are not there. Colby. Okay. There's a lot of feeling of awkwardness, not knowing how to respond, not knowing when to interject, not knowing like if it's too much silence. It's also, there is the social ability to communicate and develop that skill. There's something quite not there. And when they cope with it, there's a part of them that goes indifferent. So then they lose that bit of that connection, that bonding cable. Because they said they went back at 3 years old, because at 3 years old, they had a particular thing that was like, when every time I tried to talk, they made me feel like I was invading and that I was a bad person and I can't do this. But there's invading energy, and that means other people's negative influences actually made them feel bad about themselves. Yes. And then there's pictures. So even if that's never happening again, those pictures of that, and then you recorrect yourself so that you go into correct behavior. Well, Penny, if you're still here, she may not be, but if you are, let me know. Amy Ray Patterson. Amy, if I just asked, based on anything that you're doing already, will you lose that gut and those appearances? And out of the scale from 0 to 10, 10 being yes, I can, it's only a 4. So you're not quite believing in yourself. But you also got to decide, if you look at the way pairing foods are, if you look at how different food situation is, you can look under Cinderella solutions to understand that when you eat a certain way, then small portions of protein and this and that, the little ways of doing it, your body's going to start detoxing. And when it does, it'll start burning up the inches without really having to exercise. Pairing the with cinnamon, with coffee and cocoa, and I'm not talking about sweet chocolate. I'm talking about that pure cocoa that has no flavor, but bitter. When you start pairing orange with ginger, these are things that help your body turn on the burner and then help to detox. When you begin to apply these things and you make it a routine, you may see things right away, or you may not, but there's so much internal stuff going on. And what's going to happen is your body's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. Why take this information from me? Because that's what I'm doing. And it's amazing because my body is changing. My heart rate was at rest, not beating right now, but at rest was at 74. It was at 80 when I got here in Australia. I exercised and did all these things and I got a 74. And it's like, okay, all that cardio. But then it's like, what the hell? Why can't I get past this? When I started to do the pairing and eating the proper, protein and carbs and so, in the proper order. So what happened is when I did that, the first 4 days of just drinking the pairing, I went from 74 to 70. And now that I'm not even really drinking the pairing, I'm eating that proper amount of protein, that proper amount of healthy fat, and at the right time, because our body clock, the circadian rhythm, asked to be that we eat foods at a certain time. It is now at 65. And that's without doing cardio. I worked my ass off for 4 years and I only moved to 4 things. Now I'm down to 65 resting heart rate. My heart's getting better. My liver's getting better. My body is, and I've lost like 3 inches and without doing anything. And I'm not talking about just around my waist. My ass cheeks are getting smaller. Okay. Things are changing because my body's just saying, I don't need those chemicals anymore. I can let that go. And I highly recommend, if you do Cinderella solutions, do it. I did it for the information and I thought, okay, because Spirit told me this is out of anything that I've learned, that is it. And don't spend your money on other stuff. And this is what happened to me. And I'm feeling healthier and stronger. Natasha Jane. Okay, Penny, I'll get you next. Natasha Jane Pustak? I can't. So sorry, Natasha. You know I'm trying to say your name. Okay. Oh God! All of a sudden, I felt like the inside of my chest got tight, and then I started to close down. This is my body's consciousness reaction. But then when I looked out, it's an imaginary somebody hitting me. There's nobody there to hit me. It's like this is an old pattern. So at 1 year old, there's an old pattern, and so it's like looking at the mirror and you see yourself and you feel like people are staring at you. It's really strange sensation. I don't know how to explain it, except for you don't trust anybody from what I can tell. This is a little bit of a pattern. No, Pilly, I got you already. I don't know the timestamp. You're afraid to be happy, Natasha, because if you look at this, Natasha, those people are going to take away your happiness. If that's part of the blame, take a look at it just for a moment, okay? That younger you lost a big chunk of yourself out there to whoever it is that felt like it took it. Do you get it? We need to heal that out. Yeah, that one's a deep one. Okay. Miss Perkins, Teresa Perkins, neuropathy. Ready? There is something that's unreal, but you believed it is real at 4 years old. And there was a party that went into the worst case scenario because that is what you've learned as your behavior to do something. And what it does is it pulsates. Yeah. Okay. So you're pointing to the way the immune system is constantly listening, and it's part of your one that guards you, but it's constantly listening. And the thing is it's morphing. So if somebody's in a bad mood, your body will start going in a bad mood, and then your thoughts will follow. And if somebody is sick, then all of a sudden your body goes, oh, I'm supposed to be sick. And then it tries to follow. So literally you have got to start to, we have to look at what happened at 4. That's no doubt about that. And when hormones came in, it created a life changes. So then the hormones beefed up what you had as a little kid, and that changed, and it's taxing on that. Okay. But it can start to go backwards. Miss Boyle says, I fell down a flight of stairs. Ouch. When I was almost 2, hit concrete, did not have damage, just a callus and scares. Yeah. Okay. Again, just for the new people, understand, I recognize that you're new, so I will give you a reading, but understand it's about putting hashtag MWB for me, number 4, and then me, and then you space, and then what you want. And because I go right in a row. So over here, Penny, interesting. How do you, okay, thanks. I'm here. I'll have to answer that later, Penny, but I can give you a minute read. Okay, so your minute read. So understand, I don't invade your space. This is the energy stuff that comes right in. And what they said is that you have been taught to blow out your own light. Like, for instance, if your light is lit, somebody comes along, blows your light so they can shine better. But you've taught yourself to blow out your own light. So you have to learn how to become hopeless about what you want. It's like, oh, yeah, this is what I want. And you're like, oh, never mind. I'm not going to get it. So you believe that you can't have it or can't get it. Because you think that what you want is wrong. So it's the right and wrong thing. So you have convinced yourself that what I want is wrong. I shouldn't pray for myself. I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't be this. I shouldn't be this way. Do you understand? So it literally is saying that you snuff out your own light after that. The communication between the left brain and right brain, it's not quite as balanced as you want it. You go more in the left brain of fear of going to the worst case scenarios. And the right brain, you discredit and say, I don't want that positive thinking, that idea stuff, because somebody else can do it better than me. And therefore, that's how you cut yourself out. Oh, thank you, Pilly. I appreciate it. My screen moved. Where'd it go? Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Spirit, you're cute. Her name's Brenda. Oh, what's my name? Brenda. Her name is Brenda Climo. Climo? And she says, hi, beautiful soul. So when I went to try to say, I'm going to do a minute read for you, it got stuck. Hey, why is it jumping? Oh, because I got 57 comments and I haven't gotten there. So Brenda, we're going to do this real quick. It says there's a lofty energy. You feel like you have to put yourself in being in a lofty position, and you're like, I kind of don't want to have to be this person. Okay. So then it goes into self-abuse because you have to become this person. You have to act a certain way, but it's going against who you are because you started to remember who you are. You started to wake up a little bit more. You started going into a certain direction, but there's a part of you that can't because of the rest of development. To develop that, you're like, I have to look over here and be this, and this. Who told you had to be this? And if it was you, you can change that. Remember, it is a choice. And even in the hardest situations, you have to tap out that I can't do this, so that you can let in spirit to guide you and your immaculate heart to open and the gut intuition to help guide you into the next direction instead of being in this constant fear and state of agony. So you can actually break those patterns. Do you understand? Susan Rose Marie Hurl, health reading. Susan. Well, part of your health issues has to do with the fact that you live through others. So you can't give you the go ahead, and you can't really allow yourself to thrive. So your energy becomes very stagnant. Because it becomes very stagnant, the energy doesn't want to move through the gallbladder properly. And so when you try to digest the food, your kidney meridian says, oh, I'm just an it. Now, your emotions have everything to do with why you're physically healthy or not healthy. Okay. And they said that you have pictures that has to do with what? I'm incompatible with things. So there's an Eeyore voice that's coming in. So Eeyore always reminds me of depression. So there is a particular weakness in somebody told you that you were weak about something. So there is a power of suggestion. Somebody's bullshit says that you, and then so you couldn't stop thinking, I have a weakness. And so then you believe to be true, and then you take it on and you become something else. So that's not, you don't have to. That's hilarious. Pretty Bree. I love that because Bree, that's me. Try to nickname me one time. Pretty Bree. Your energy says that you're hooked into the feeling of what low self-esteem is. So you can't, every time you try to rise up to be something more, your low self-esteem energy says, no, you can't. So your body's low self-esteem is saying that you can't be you. And consciously you're waking up going, yes, I can. So then you feel like you're fighting with an invisible enemy, but then you can look out and say, oh, it's you and it's you and it's you. Spiritually speaking, you are hooked into the identity of low self-esteem. And that's what causes you to do self-imposed limitations and tells you that you can't do this, and you can't go in that area. And because you can't see that, then you have people appear to show you that, oh, you can't do this, you can't do it. And you're like, so you're always feeling like you're taking that boulder and pushing it up the freaking mountain, and it's going to roll upon down you anytime. Okay. And they're saying that we got to get you to just heal out. You know, you can use EFT, even though I feel this, this low self-esteem. You can label it that way. It's a feeling. Oh. Kelly, did I address that correctly? Because I just realized you said that you've been dizzy and you felt like, so I could look at that. Yes, like I said, some of you are new here, and it's hard for me to read because Spirit just jumps, because now it's like I've got over 100. See, Spirit just saw something. Cat Rivers. You have hysterical moments. You get right into, you're a very emotional person. They said this is your action based of an auto response. So you go in that state because an auto response, you're auto responding to people that, well, they don't say it because they said that, let's go back. It's because you obsess about something. So you get very in high beta and you worry and you think that's how life's supposed to be. And when I say, well, what's really going on? And they said that you don't want to be humiliated, and because you don't want that feeling, it creates you to go into worry. It creates you going to, so these emotions will feel like they drive you crazy, because you got to explode if these emotions don't get to burn out or work out. And so therefore they just show up when they show up. There's an emotion there that really, yeah. All right. Miss Demi Walters. Oh God, what the hell? Why does that hurt? I felt like I got hit. There's like this old, I don't know if you were hit when you were younger or hit, but I feel this old part of you that your body's saying, hey, do you remember this? And you're coming up with this arrested development. You can't develop past it, but you are waking up. So this is telling you that you have to be defensive. You have to take offense. You understand the emotion of taking defense at everything causes you to have internal hits and hurts. When you are just being ego and you're not letting spirit guide you, you'll take offense to everything and you have to be hurt by everything. I would tell you that you need to tap that out. You need to heal that out, because that's not spirit guiding you. That's all ego. Ebony Owens. You're very discouraged about something. Where? What? Body. Deprived. Frustrated. I'm an it. And worthless. So you treat yourself like an it. You don't even treat yourself like you're a human being sometimes. You got to understand, if you want to be treated like somebody, you have to first be that somebody, and you have to say, I don't have to negotiate my worth to anybody. But first you got to see your worth, because you I feel like, it's like you're supposed to be ashamed of the fact that you have worth. No. You don't need to negotiate nothing. You have worth, and you need to own that worth, because the auto response that and that everybody else is right, everybody can live and breathe, everybody can do things but me, that needs to change. Because Ebony, sweetie, you got worth. Lillian Alaveri, a new job. Okay, so there's a job seeking and all of this. Will it be the job that she interviews for? Oh, everything's pointing to yes. You got to really be yourself. You're very scared. And I feel like you have a pattern, a strategy that, all shit's got to go wrong before, I can have something good. And it's like, if all these things happen, then so you spin out. Do you think that this bad stuff will stop you from having the job? Or do you think these bad things have to happen in order to get you the job? So you actually have a strategy of how the steps, and then you'll know it comes to pass. So even if I told you yes that you're going to get the job, you could still sabotage yourself and say no, because I didn't have this and this and this that came into play. So no matter how many times you listen to people like us, your strategy is going to be the one that dictates it for you, because you've had to learn to control your life ever since you've been 2 years old about, I can't allow good things into my space unless I bargain. Why is my eyesight going? Oh, really? Come on. Erica Gabriella on love. Erica Gabriella. Oops. Eric. Okay, we'll take that card. How about that? There's something that you haven't forgiven and learned from the past, that baggage is going to come into the love life. They said that you are attracted to the chemistry, but you settle for, because the chemistry is so good, you settle for the abuse. Sometimes you get people that come in that act a certain way, and you're like, why is this happening? And then they said that you don't know how to separate, those emotions and the chemistry and the lessons learned. So it becomes very complicated when it comes to relationships. I would heal these out. I would definitely sit down and say, we need to heal out the baggage that causes you to not get it, and to call in the same type of person over and over and over. Oh, God. Okay, Spirit, why can't you see? This is why we have hashtags sometimes, so I can see it. Pretty Bree, I already gave you a reading, honey. I give one reading. I don't give thousands of readings to people, just to let you know. So I know I've already done that. Spirit is zeroing in on Lakeisha Garner Thomas. Love, career, my visions. Okay. That's a lot for 1 minute, but we're going to allow spirit to decide. And the thing is, if you don't have passion, you can't have your career. And if you don't have passion for yourself, then you can't have love. And your visions, if you don't have passion and trust that's developed in with spirit, then you can't have your vision. So if you, as far as what you want, you have to first find your identity. Okay. And you have to keep an open mind for what comes into play, because the love life is going to depend on how you decide what your purpose is. And because you're not going to trust that relationship if you don't start trusting yourself and what direction, what passion, and who you really are. So the more you define who you are, and it's not that, hey, I'm a female and this and this and that, is about this is what I love, this is what I don't want. Because when you start to define with your true identity, you're going to have your true love. Do you understand? You're going to get your true love that way. But you have to first identify yourself. Because without it, you're not going to have the passion that you want or deserve. You understand? Okay, for all those that are new, spirit has a hard time seeing, and because and you only have to ask once, because I go right in a row. So anybody that's new that has not got a reading, you only get one reading, but you go hashtag MWB. That's Medicine Woman Brenda. The number 4, and then me, M-E. So it's hashtag MWB for me, space, what you want. Not a whole long thing, because spirit can't see it. Okay, you got to remember, I'm not really reading this. Spirit is telling me, look here, tunes things out, fuzzes things. So it's like, ooh. So anybody that knew that's here, then I will give you a read. See, Wendy Reynolds. See, immediately they zeroed in and said, got it, reading. So Wendy Reynolds, new reading. Spirit says, oh, she's jumbled and confused. Well, that doesn't help me. Zero on one thing, please. Yeah. Oh, indigestion, got gas. The energy's backing up. It's not flowing down properly, so everything just gets regurgitated. What gets regurgitated? It's not about food and vomiting, but about word or emotion regurgitation. You keep feeling the same feeling. You keep talking the same talk, so you're just a program. It keeps running. And if I ask what that is, they would say that you obsess about things. Like feeling attacked. I got to process this. I can't cope. I can't process it. I can't get go. And they're saying it can get very busy in your head. And then in order to calm yourself down, you go, okay, this is the right thing. This is the wrong thing. Okay, see, now I put this in category, therefore you're wrong, I'm right, or I'm right, you're wrong. So it's the way you process things out. And do you think I'm acting me? Oh, okay. So then you'll zero in on particular behavior somebody does, like if they act mean. Then you're like, and then you start to define it. Your ego is trying to help you find and cope, manage, and deal with your life. And I would say we need to go in and just start healing those emotions. Those emotions make your head go nuts. And if you go into left brain only, you're going to obsess and get in high beta and fuck yourself over. Get control of those emotions. Use EFT, placing your hand on your forehead while you're thinking, going, oh my God, you need the blood to come back up into your forebrain so that you're not driving yourself nuts. If you haven't heard it, remember you can rewatch it again. And if you can't find it on Facebook, you can go on YouTube. It's there too. Melinda Mead. Where are we going? Repulsion. Your body keeps rejecting things because it has triggers from the past. Like, for instance, what do I mean by the body? Like, you could have allergies. You could start sneezing. Like, for instance, if you cook with a Teflon pan, be careful. Turn on the air, because if that goes in, it's going to cause your body to say, oh, my God, that's a trigger. We're going to get sick. You could develop issues, physical issues, get a headache, get sleepy, have an asthma attack, whatever. Your body's like trying to show you in reaction. It says that it's a strategy that it doesn't want to be in the environment. I don't care how soothing your environment is. It only is repeating when you were little. And it's going back to when you were 5 years old. 5 years old. So it is literally going back to 5 years old. Okay. And And so now you've made it such a habit that it's like, I have to go back to my age of 5 years old, listen and think about this before I can function for my day. I would say definitely heal that 5-year-old, because it's asking you. Your 5-year-old self is asking you, can you heal this now? Wendy, sorry, you only get one reading. I gave you one. If you want to know more, you may do a paid reading. You can, and here's the deal, people. If anybody of you left, if you would like a reading afterwards, I will give you, let's see, $22 for 15-minute read in private, do video conference after the show, but you have to pay now. Otherwise, the deal's over. So just to let you know, $22 for 15 minutes for off the air. We do it through Messenger, through video. And so that's that. Now, if anybody else that I've missed, let me know. Now, Penny, if you're happen to still here, some people aren't, but she had asked the question, how do you do this? You got to understand. Oh, Patricia Henson, are you still here? I didn't even see that one. Patricia, sweetheart. Oh my God, Patricia. Please tell me you're somewhere here. Patricia. You know what? I'll give you the read and then I'll let you know it's there. Patricia says, okay, please tell the guy who was told she can't get. Told that they would never have children. One have had 4 and the other. Oh, God, that was good. Yeah. I didn't even see that. See, Spirit didn't want me to see that. So I will copy this and I will send it to that woman. So Patricia, that was very good advice. Somebody earlier said that they couldn't get pregnant because the doctor says, hey, you got all this damage or you got this infection, you have this stuff. Patricia says that she knows several people that have had babies after they were told they couldn't have them. And then Patricia, oops, get the right screen, had said a reading. Where'd she go? Hey, sweetheart. Excellent. I was going to give you a read anyway. Best money maker for me. Well, the thing is I don't know what your interests are, because best money maker can be anything. If you want to be more specific, you go ahead and write something more specific, and then I can check. All right, Spirit. Danny needs help, so start bringing in the money that is created for her to have healings and readings. Because Spirit, we're just going to help. She doesn't have to be broke all the time, but designate your money to where you want to go. It's called budgeting. It's called Spirit will say, you know what? She said that she wanted this. We agree. We'll back her. Here's the money. That's what happens. And when you do get it, understand you need to use it for what you just asked it for. Well, Danny, maybe in the beginning of the week, you should say, hey, I'm paying for this for the show for the next week. Art, writing. Gotcha, Patricia. All right. Patricia Henson, moneymaker. You don't believe in yourself very much about your art and your reading. So they would be like, plus there's the paradigm that you have to be a starving artist that comes into play. Remove the belief, get more into your confidence, and ask Spirit to show you how you could make money off of this. And literally ask Spirit to help you. You're going to say this, and then Spirit will show you. So if you were to heal that and bring in Spirit, then the idea of combination of the writing of the art. Now, what's interesting is I could see this really cool thing where you would do different types of writings and could get employed for that. But then I also see you have art things, and you could actually make some type of book or something. I'm watching you develop something that may have been done, but hasn't been seen for a while that people would actually like. So just start trusting Spirit to guide you to what that is, because you have a lot of good energy in those two areas that will support like this. I would never have dreamed that this is my job, but Spirit said, yes, it is. Okay. So yes, it is. Yes. Liliana. Yeah. No matter where you live. Okay. I can help set up the different time zones, because I used to live in the US and we set up in the different time zones. So yeah, it's doable. And you know that if you go to my fan page, look under services, you can see that I have an introductory price. It's one time only. And then there's other stuff that goes on. The more you pay, the longer the time, the less money it costs you. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Danny. Thank you, Danny. I appreciate it. Okay. So I'm just going to give a shout out one more time. If there's anybody out there that wants a reading, then just say hashtag MWB, the number 4, ME space. What do you want? I'm going to double check to make sure nobody else is paid, because you can still do. Oh, somebody's paid, and they've paid for, they paid for the off the air reading. Okay. So Wendy Reynolds, how many minutes was that? Because sometimes it doesn't translate right when the stupid thing comes in. I need to tell people that when you're paying for it, sometimes you have to give me details, whether it's the amount of money that you're actually sending or the time. Sometimes I don't know why it doesn't work. Okay, that's it. You guys are great. I will be here tomorrow night. Now, for you in the US, it'd be early morning. But you can always rewatch replays. You can also go on YouTube and do it that way. Anything else I need to tell you? No. You guys are really good. Thank you very much. And what do we always say? Stay blessed. Thank you very much, YouTube land. I appreciate you. So you stay blessed. Oh, my cameras are here. I moved it. Ha!